Hi everyone and welcome to this new video where I'm going to talk about two sub-skills that are very important in your training, and they are tonic recognition and retention skills. I'm going to explain why are they important. I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to develop them. I'm going to explain how they work basically and why you should have great tonic retention and recognition skills in order to be very good at your training. Before going ahead with this video, if you want to help us create more content and grow our YouTube channel, please leave a like to this video and subscribe to the channel. Then if you're interested in your training, I really suggest you check out our free online your training workshop. You will be able to sign up to our workshop for free by clicking the link in the description section below. This free workshop is full of valuable content. We'll show you how to practice your training properly, what exercises to avoid, what are the common mistakes that most musicians do at the beginning, and then it will give you specific direction on what are the sub-skills, your training areas that you should focus on depending on your current level. So by watching our workshop, you will get a ton of valuable information that you won't find anywhere else and that will significantly help you develop your training skills. So don't wait to check it out. If you haven't done it yet, click on the link in the description section below. Okay, let's go ahead with the main topic of this video. We're going to talk about tonic retention and recognition skills. So, what are exactly tonic retention and recognition skills? Tonic recognition is the ability to recognize the tonic of the key in any song that you're listening to by ear, so without the help of any instrument. Of course, since we're talking about relative pitch skills, you will only be able to identify the note, like the pitch, but you won't know the actual note itself. So, to be clear, you won't be able to understand if the tonic note is C, B, F sharp, E, or whatever else if you don't have a musical instrument to help you with that. But what you will be able to do with great tonic recognition skills is to understand the pitch that is the gravitational center of the musical piece. So for example, you will be able to understand that this note is eventually the tonic note of the musical piece you're listening to. And this is very important because it sets the basis for us to be able to recognize all the other notes and chords that are played in the musical piece. Because, as I explained in other videos, our perception of musical pitch is tonal. So this means that the same note or the same chord assumes a different sonic sensation depending on the key in which is played in. And this is also the reason why interval-based ear training is not an effective approach to ear training. I have made a specific video where I explain all of these things much more in depth with a lot of scientific studies and reference to those studies in the description section of that video. You will find a link to the video up here and in the description section below. Let's get back to tonic recognition skills. The main point I want to come across is that tonic recognition skills are absolutely essential to anyone who wants to recognize music, recognize notes, chords by ear without any instrument. Because in order to be able to recognize notes and chords in a very efficient and quick and intuitive way, we need to be able to understand the tonality of the musical piece. And so we need to be able to understand which is the gravitational center of the musical piece. So in more practical terms, we need to identify the note that gives us a sensation of total resolution, the note that you would end the piece on. The first thing that you need to do in order to recognize music by ear is to always recognize the tonic. So if you're struggling with that, if you can't recognize the tonic very intuitively and quickly, you're going to have a big obstacle in your ability to recognize notes and chords by ear. No matter what musical piece it is, no matter what genre it is, recognizing the tonic and the tonality of the musical piece is always the first mental step that you should take when recognizing notes and chords. If you're trying to recognize notes and chords by ear without recognizing the tonic first, then you're probably not following an effective approach to recognizing notes and chords by ear. And this is very likely going to hinder your progress and prevent you from developing an intuitive level of musicality, which should always be our end goal when we're practicing ear training. That being said, it should be clear why tonic recognition are very, very important and why you should work on develop them. Let's now talk about tonic retention skills. Tonic retention is the ability to retain the tonic note in your head without paying conscious effort. So basically, with this ability, you're able to, of course, after you've identified the tonic, you're able to retain the tonic stored in the back of your mind, which is kind of a very important sub-skills in your training, because when we recognize notes and chords, etc., we always recognize everything in relation to the tonic note and in relation to the scale that's identified by the tonic note. So to make a simple parallel, I can say that the tonic note is the North Star in the process of performing your training tasks. And the ability to retain the tonic note is kind of the ability to see the North Star. If the sky is cloudy, you're not able to see the North Star anymore, and so you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's the right direction to take, etc. This is the same when performing any ear training tasks. If you don't have great tonic retention skills, and if you often lose the tonic, this will prevent you from performing any ear training task successfully. For example, you won't be able to identify notes and chords, because without knowing where the tonic is, you're not able to identify them because you're lost. You don't have your North Star, basically. So this is why tonic retention skills are essential, exactly as tonic recognition skills. And they are even more important in recognizing and working on real music, because usually when you practice exercises like, let's say, a melodic dictation exercise, you're only going to recognize a few notes. Whereas in real music, you will have probably to react to the whole song and to being able to recognize notes and chords quickly within the whole song. This is to say that recognizing notes and chords in real music is usually a more ongoing process. It's not like, okay, let's recognize these 10 notes and then let's stop and do another exercise. So tonic retention is very important in real music, because you need to retain the tonic very efficiently and effectively for a longer amount of time than what you're usually required to do in a simple melodic dictation exercise, for example. Okay, now you probably have a very clear idea on why these two skills are very, very important in any ear training tasks you might want to perform. Nevertheless, these two skills are very often neglected and overlooked by most ear training methods and apps out there. So chances are that even if you've practiced ear training for years and you've probably tried out multiple methods, different apps, etc., you would have still some issues with tonic retention and recognition skills. This is very important to understand, because very often it happens that students come to us and they are quite good at everything, but they can't apply their skills to real music. And most often than not, what is blocking them from applying their skills to real music is really a lack in tonic retention and recognition skills. Or maybe they are even able to accomplish recognizing tonic and retaining the tonic, but they are not doing it when they are working on real music. They are not even trying to recognize the tonic. So as I've said, this is the first mental step you need to take in order to accomplish any ear training task. And if you don't do that, you're kinda lost and you're not able to recognize real music, even though the potential is already there. So I think this is quite remarkable, and it's representative of the high level of confusion that surrounds the topic of ear training. Anyway, let's not digress too much. I have a last thing to explain to you, which is what are the first steps, the first things you can do in order to develop tonic recognition and retention skills. Surely there are some very important prerequisites before you can even try to develop these two skills. For example, you need to be able to match pitch and you need to be able to sing the scale. And then you can move on and try to develop your tonic recognition skills at first, because tonic retention skills comes later. How to develop tonic recognition skills? Well, you need to be able to experience what I call the key scholars. I've made a video about them. You can find the link up here and in the description section below. Basically, the key scholars of a note is the specific sonic sensation that that note assumes within the scale. So we have 7 degrees in the scale, we have 7 notes, 7 degrees, and each one of those 7 degrees assumes a very specific feeling. The key color of the tonic note, so the sonic sensation of the first degree of the scale, is a sensation of rest, of resolution. It feels like the gravitational center of the musical piece. In order to be able to develop tonic recognition skills, you need to be able to experience and internalize this sensation of resolution. The important thing to understand is that describing these feelings doesn't really help you in developing tonic recognition skills. What you need to do is to listen and experience and internalize how the tonic note sounds. What is its sonic sensation? And the sonic sensation of the tonic note is the same no matter which key we're in. So if it's the A major or C major key or G major key, the tonic always feels the same. It always has a sensation of rest, of total resolution. So the first thing you can do is playing the scale and carefully listen to how the tonic note sounds. So this is just a first exercise that can help you with developing tonic recognition skills. Of course, there are more complex exercises because just experiencing and internalizing the sensation of the tonic is not enough. You need to be able to then recognize it in more complex contexts like a real song, for example. But of course, as I'm sure you understand, I can't explain all the exercises in a YouTube video. It will take far too long for me to do that. And we have a specific video course including all the exercises that are relevant for developing tonic retention and tonic recognition skills. So I suggest you check it out if you're interested in more exercises and in a more substantial and significant guidance from us. Lastly, regarding tonic retention skills, again, there are multiple exercises you can do, and in our course they are often associated to performing other tasks so that you improve your tonic retention skills while also improving your melodic recognition and chord recognition skills, etc. An important thing that should be very clear at this point in the video is to avoid working on tonic retention skills if you're not able to recognize the tonic yet. So the concept is develop tonic recognition first and then improve your tonic retention skills later on. Okay, that's all for this video. Let me know if you have any questions by leaving your comments down below. Other than that, I really suggest you check out our website where you will find our courses. And if you're very interested in your training and you want to dive deeper into understanding how our method works, then I really recommend you check out our free online workshop. In the workshop, we also dive deeper into tonic retention and tonic recognition skills, as well as explaining and showing all the other main skills that are relevant in your training and that unfortunately are very, very often neglected. So check it out. You will find all the relevant links in the description section below. It's all for now. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.